Hello everyone, it's Carly McAvoy. This is the week 5 help session. I've also posted another week 5 help session from before because I don't have as much time today. So if you look under Panopto recordings, you will see that I've already posted help on how to do the Math 96 homework this week, which is a graphing assignment. And then I also have posted some help for next week in the scientific notation assignment. I went ahead and got that posted. And then this week we have the graphing assignment and talking about the midterm, which is coming up. So those are all things that are posted already. And I'm going to talk about the 146 activity for this week, which is the misleading graphs. So this doesn't take a lot of time, especially because I'm not going to go through it in its entirety. I want you to watch these videos on your own. So you're going to watch this video. This video is going to show you examples of deceptive graphs that this person who created the video found on the internet or whatever. And so it's going to be helpful to learn more about deceptive graphs by watching that. It's less than 5 minutes long. It's a quick and kind of interesting watch. Then you're going to read the information, and the most common way to deceive a reader is to start the scale at something besides 0. So in this example, we have the average male height in meters, and we have the Netherlands compared to a bunch of other countries all the way down to the Philippines. And you can see how much crazy taller the Netherlands seem, but they started at 1.5 meters. And so all they're showing is the difference in height above that, which this person didn't go that far above 1.5 meters. This person went quite a bit above. But look what it looks like if we actually start at 0. What the people that are above the 1.5 is here, and so forth. So really, if you start at 0, you see that we still see the Netherlands as the tallest, but not so crazy different as here. So if you only look at the difference, then you're going to see a skewed vision or version of that data. The other common ways are, besides not starting at 0, is to make the scale very small, to make the graph look very big, or to not put labels on the graph, or put incorrect scales on the graph. Pieces of the pie chart are not the correct size, like it says 50%, but it actually looks like 20% when you look at it. They don't add up to 100 on the pie chart. The size of the images used in pictographs are different for each category, or the graph is just non-standard shape or size. And there's other graphs that just are deceptive intentionally, that fall outside that norm. And here's a good example. This is a graph that shows gun deaths in Florida, number of murders committed using firearms, and it says 2005 Florida enacted its Stand Your Ground law. And look how those deaths really plummeted there. Well, what's happening here is they turned this graph upside down. So 0 is up here and 800 is here. So when we were at, before the Stand Your Ground laws, we were at like whatever, it looks like maybe 500-ish. And then all of a sudden that plummet is actually a spike that goes way up past 800. So enacting that Stand Your Ground law actually shot up gun deaths. But the way they have this, people will just look at it and it looks like it falls dramatically. So intentionally deceptive for no particular reason except that the law enforcement they want that law, so they don't want to make it look bad. All right. And then you're going to answer the questions in this quiz. And for each of these questions, you're going to look at this and choose something that's not a problem with this graph. So something that's not a graph. Well, the graph is deceptive because the scale does not start at 0. This one doesn't start at 0. But it is because the pieces of pies are not the correct size. That's true. None of these make any sense. They don't have scale values or labels on there really that tell us what's going on. And, well, because scale values or labels, I don't know about that one. I think that probably isn't, well, I guess it's only one you can choose, so that helps us a little bit. And it's because the pieces of pies don't add up to 100, so that one really just doesn't have a scale starting at 0 because it's not one of those types of things. In the second one, the number of Valentine cards received, well, just for no reason, the heart are 3 Valentine cards. For no reason, they made Jason's hearts huge, and Pat has really tiny hearts, but really Pat got more Valentines, right? But they didn't get it doesn't look like it. It looks like Jason really got all the Valentines. Just somebody changed the scale on the pictograph so that the images are not the same for each of those, and it was just deceptively, intentionally deceptive. And then number 3, we can see the difference in class scores between Jones and Smith. And if you look over here, they didn't start at 0. They started at above 73. So that really is deceptive because we're only looking at the differences and we're not looking at the entire picture. And anytime we don't start at 0, that's going to be a red flag. Number 4, we want to know which of the graphs would be considered deceptive. Well, the thing about this is not really deceptive. You can see this graph, it's 54% clearly labeled, 46%. They tell you what this is. But over here we have 640 to 15, 551 to 43. It's really confusing what that means. And also, I can't hardly tell which rectangle is larger because, so it would definitely be this would be larger. And then I'll let you choose why you think that is, more deceptive, excuse me. And this one, choose why this is deceptive. If you look at this one, we have weight loss in total pounds for both. But over here we go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And over here we go 0, 20. So they're comparing two things that have different scales. Up here, 0, 20, 40, 60, and 0, 10, 20, 30. So they're saying our weight loss results. And they're showing this graph up that goes up to not quite to 30, but it looks like it's all the way up to the top. Well, this one, if you look at where 30 would be, it would be here. They actually have bars that are going above that. So they're intentionally being deceptive because they have different graphs that aren't the same, and they're expecting you to look at those and think that they are the same. And if you don't look closely, you might think that they are. And then the percent who agreed with the court, we have Democrats, Republicans, and Independents. And look what happened here again. Where did they start? They started at 50. So if you put that at 0, it would look totally different, just like our one we saw earlier about the height of men. And so when you don't start at 0, that's a really common thing. When you don't start at 0 and you're just looking at the differences, you're going to see that skew. And then this one, the best describes why this graph is deceptive. Well, look what we're doing here. If you add up the right side, we have 85 and 50 and 10. What is that? 445. That looks like 50%. And then the other side looks like, well, that's not the same amount, but that looks like 50%. So we have some mislabels here. The charts really is not, these sizes are not the right size. 265 million should definitely show more than half. This was on a Fox News channel, and what they were trying to do is get people to say, like, hey, the city's not going to be having to pay for all this funding. Look at all the people that are throwing in. But the way they made it to look like this is 50%, it really is deceptive, and it makes like the city's putting in half and other people are putting in half when in fact they are not. So it's intentionally deceptive. And the last one, this graph was put out by Microsoft. And does Microsoft Ad actually contain false information? So they have these things, and it tells you here what the scale is. Looks like Microsoft Edge is 31,786. And if you come down here, that's about what it looks like here. In here, it's 26. So this looks like, no, it doesn't look like there was false information. But it does mean, even if it's not false, it's deceptive. And you can choose a reason down here. I will let you choose that. But just look at what they made for sizes. Doesn't really make sense. They just made one bigger and the other two smaller. And so it's deceptive. So as you go through there, select the ones that you think are deceptive, the reasons. And I really urge you to watch this video in the beginning, because I think she does a really good job of showing examples. And I think as consumers, sometimes we think we just trust things that we see like on the news or on TV and that we shouldn't, because there's people that are out there intentionally trying to deceive us. All right, have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you next time.